This was the first time a man ever felt his heart skip a beat. As the woman sat across from him, he couldn't help but glance at her from the corner of his eye. He started sketching her quietly on paper, hoping to surprise her later. Suddenly, the woman opened the chocolate bar on the table. Without asking, she snapped off a piece and popped it into her mouth. The man was stunned. To make a point, he snapped off a piece and ate it too. The woman glanced at him with disdain, then smirked. She thought this guy was funny, stealing her chocolate so boldly. She snapped off another piece and ate it. The man refused to back down. He pulled the chocolate closer to his side. Before they could say a word, the speaker announced the next stop. The woman stood up to leave.
Toda tuya.
As she walked away, Cameron smiled. Even as the train pulled off, he was still caught in the charm of the encounter. But moments later, he realized his own chocolate was still in his pocket. That's fate for you. A few weeks later, they met again on the train. Cameron awkwardly apologized and gave her the portrait he had drawn. They laughed, talked like old friends. When she said her stop was coming, Cameron reluctantly said goodbye. But as he turned to leave, she called him back, handed him the portrait.
No, es para ti.
Ya me lo darás.
He flipped it over. There was her number. He looked up, beaming. For two people who liked each other, falling in love was only natural. Soon, they got married. One evening, Cameron came home from work, kissed his sleeping wife, then went to wash up. Suddenly, he felt dizzy and collapsed on the floor. Months ago, Cameron had found out he had a terminal brain tumor. There was no cure. He tried to tell his wife, but just couldn't bring himself to do it. Watching her help their son with homework, Cameron smiled through tears. But inside, it hurt. He locked himself in the bathroom, wiped his face dry, and decided to follow through with the plan he'd been preparing. At dawn, he got on a boat and headed for a remote island. A female scientist was waiting. As the heavy door opened, Cameron entered the underground lab. For the first time, he saw his clone. Even though he'd prepared himself, he was still shocked. The face, the skin tone, everything was identical. He reached out. The handshake felt eerily real. But as he looked at the clone, the one who would soon take his place, a new fear crept in. He was afraid of being replaced, afraid of being forgotten.